welcome to another edition with yours truly. It's interview time for this episode. It's been absolutely ages since I last did a one. Last interview was sometime before Pride. Well, I think we'll have someone international up for the challenge. And when I approached this guest was more than happy to accept my challenge of being interviewed. Joining me on the line is a lovely young lady born in Australia, and she amazingly performed in 32 countries around the world and toured the UK, America, India, Europe, Africa, Far East like Japan, Australia, the Falklands and East European countries. Every time I've been down to Newcastle Pink Rooms, I hear the single Gloria played by the fabulous DJ Miss Gloria Hall, and it got belted out to all the partygoers. Based in London, she was once the funniest half of a comedy girl double act, and no, I'm not talking French and Saunders, but this guest toured around the UK and the Far East. I must mention this guest has performed with many well-known artists like Katrina and the Rave, Go West, Brother Beyond, T-Paul, Jackie Graham, Boy George, Robin S, Jimmy Somerville, Martha Wash, Gabrielle, Sophie Alex Dexter, to name a few other artists such as Angie Brown from Bizarre Incorporated. And you know, fellows, sit back and relax and enjoy this edition. And this guest also worked with Lisa Scottley from Steps, Sam Fox, PJ and Duncan, Alexandra Burke plus X Factor stars and many others. And also Eurovision is a strong factor for this lady's career, as she was seen on BBC television singing her original track You Better Be Good to Me in the 1990 Eurovision Song Contest. I'm going to say absolutely no more because, ladies and gentlemen and all the people around the world, will you please make some noise and welcome, because she's a very busy lady and she has kindly given up some free time for this interview, the fabulous Australian diva Miss Kelly Wilde. Hello Kelly!
Oh, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? You had a lot to say. I'm not going to say anything you said, and then I got a whole load of my life story. It's really nice to be on your show.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for coming on there.
Well, I'm all set running around. I've been running around the country like a maniac.
Sounds like you've got a really busy career.
A TV series. I've got to tell you about this. We've been filming for a TV series.
All right, yes.
Which I did last year, and it came out. It was called All Together Now.
Yes.
Which was on BBC One TV.
Yes.
So I was one of the judges. Yes, there's a lot of judges, I have to say. But I was on with Jerry Halliwell.
You were, yes.
Beckett, the comedian. It was just so much fun. And I was just looking through videos of the photo shoot and backstage areas, and how all of us were like this beautiful team of people, and every second we could just join in singing along.
Yeah.
Singing Lean on Me or Somebody to Love or something, and we'd all just start joining in and wailing away. It was just so much fun. So, and we know that I've been asked to do the second series, so I'm thrilled about that.
Excellent.
Very thrilled.
Right, Kelly,
I got back from Spain.
No, keep going.
I've just got back from Spain yesterday. We performed in Solu, which is beautiful. Really, really.
You had a good time?
So, yeah. Oh, gosh, yeah. They were so hospitable and we had the best time. Now I'll let you talk.
Okay, Kelly. You've started your showbiz career at the age of 6. God, I sound like a host. I'm sorry, like I'm hosting This Is Your Life doing this. But you were singing in the local...
Hang on, I'll get my book out. I'll get that big book out.
Get that big book, red book out. And you were singing in the local church choir, and you were heard singing the loudest by everyone else. And that sounds like you must have had a lot of people saying, oh, you should definitely become a professional singer and you will go a long, long way. Tell us more about that.
That was hilarious. I didn't know I could sing. I was just, plonked in this church choir, and we're singing, I don't know what, there's about 30 people, 30 kids in it. And my auntie said to my mum, "Is it Kelly?" My mum says, nah. She said, listen, you can hear this voice above everybody. And then mum says, oh, I think it is. Oh, I think it is. So when I come out finishing the choir practice, they made me sing. And you can hear me down in the bush, for God's sake.
Being around the bush is what they say. So you
down the bush in the outback, darling.
So you've also appeared in a few TV programs as well. Can you name a few that you've starred in from what you remember?
Well, I think back in the day there was some children's programs, and I also did New Faces. I think it was a talent show in Australia. I'm pretty sure it was New Faces.
I remember it vaguely.
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
It was on ATN and the BBC. I think it was in Australia as well. So it was really, really good.
Very good.
You've expanded your career as well, from what I hear, in Singapore, and people were talking about the young Australian girl with the big voice. You performed in clubs and hotels, and my uncle lives in Singapore as well. But tell us about when you recorded the single Body Language, because you teamed up with another artist, didn't you? And that track became a major success.
Well, in fact, the first, we did a comedy show. We teamed up for the recording back in Singapore.
Yeah.
And the recording label was going to set up a business in London, not realising how difficult it was back in the day to be in London. And so they went over first to set up the recording company.
Yeah.
Whereas Don and I then went over to Japan and toured Japan and places like that. When we came back, we flew straight into London. And the record Body Language then came out, because there was a bra going around called Body Language. I think it was a Triumph bra called
A Triumph?
and we put, yeah, it was a Triumph. It really was a Triumph, actually. And we brought this song out because Body Language. The way he walks, you know he wants your body language. It was about this bra.
And I think,
no one knew it was about a bra.
I think that was something that Kylie Minogue released as well, didn't she? Body Language, as like a single, is not just an album.
I don't know.
I think I'll look into that, actually.
I don't think it wasn't our copy, or we'd be making royalties.
No, that's it.
I pounced. Kylie's listening and she wants to release it. I'll offer her the track. You can have it.
You moved to London as well after that, and you've achieved your first #1 hit with Bolt Records entitled Nothing But Promises. Tell me, you must have been really, really overjoyed and proud to have that as a top 20 British single.
Well, so what happened there was we were already in London and we brought out Body Language and we toured around Europe.
Yes.
Then she decided to go home because, you know, she just thought it was really cold over here and it wasn't her place to be and she was going to get married, and so she left.
Yeah.
Right, and just left me here on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Although scratching around, I thought, what do I do? Well, I sing in Chinese, so I got a job in a Chinese restaurant.
Right.
Singing in Chinese. And luckily there were some Japanese people and Korean people in there, so I was singing those languages as well. So I was all right. I could get by, and I managed to scrape together food.
How did you first take up singing Chinese?
Sorry?
How did you end up singing Chinese? Did you take lessons, or?
No, I just have a good ear. I like languages. And I love being in Singapore and Hong Kong and Taiwan and all those places. And I just met a lot of Chinese singers. And I just learned the songs, which were current and popular at the time.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't learn it that quick.
Oh, that's all right. It's good. It's easy. I like languages. But I was talking about the Chinese. Then I left the Chinese place and I was scratching around again, thinking, God, I'm going to die of starvation over here. I better do something. So I started putting myself out and about in the clubs, in the West End clubs and the venues, and just trying to work and trying to get a living together. I worked with all the big bands that were going around at the time, really big bands. In fact, Hazel Ding also did the big band circuit before she had the hit Searching with BWL. And Who's Leaving Who and all that. So I'd met Hazel back in the day, but we weren't close friends at that point. I then found a job with Bolt's Records. Bolt's had just had a #1 with Man to Man Meet Man Parish, Male Stripper. And I think most of your people listening will say, oh yeah,
I know that one.
that one. Yeah, I know that one. I remember the male stripper part. Of course I do. So then the release to follow that, while they were doing another track, was to follow through with Nothing But Promises.
Yes.
Which was written for me by a young gay guy running around the circuit, and it was I loved the song. I loved the songwriting. It was really, really good. And so we recorded the track, and Bolts took it on.
Yes.
And that was that. That was amazing.
Another
That was amazing.
well-tracked success, doesn't it?
17 in the national charts.
Yes.
Yeah, 17 in the national charts. I think I've still got a copy of those charts as well.
Well, I'm proud to say you are the first Australian person I've ever interviewed.
Well, you probably won't. Probably won't be the last one. I mean, you might get a hold of Kylie after this.
You never know. That's if she's free. Now, Kelly, you were also selected to perform and take part in the Eurovision Song Contest back in 1990. But you narrowly missed out, didn't you, with singing quite emotionally with You Better Be Good to Me. Tell me, how did that come about, and did something quite emotional happen for it to occur?
It was just one of those times. It was the same songwriter that wrote Nothing But Promises, actually.
The same guy?
I was like, no. yeah, the same guy. And I said, no. He kept saying, no, I don't want to release. No, Eurovision, no, I don't want to release. But his friend said, I can't remember the name of the top of my head, but anyway, his friend said, let's just put it in, Kelly, and see what happens. And so we put it into the Eurovision, submitted the entry, and You Better Be Good to Me. And I thought nothing more of it. I just forgot all about it and thought, well, you never know, you've got to try these things. And how I would love to have done it. But, you know, if I didn't get it, well, that's not the end of the world.
Well, life's too short not to try things.
But you got to try everything. You've got to be in it to win it.
Got to be in it to win it.
A club in Luton, and they show up. And at the end of the show, they come on and say, we've got some good news for you, Kelly. And I said, what's that? She said, you've been chosen to go through to the Eurovision, to the Song for Europe, to represent England. You know, it's a whole TV show.
I bet you were gobsmacked, were you?
I just finished this, you know, real high energy show, and I just sort of like in tears. I was, no, not literally, but just welling up with excitement and joy, and how lucky is this moment in my life, and I'm blessed, really, and I'm so grateful. Anyway, so we went on and we did the Eurovision, the Song for Europe, and it was, I'd have to say, one of the best experiences in my life. If I died tomorrow, and I often say this, if I died tomorrow, that would be the memory I'd take with me. I had an all-gay crew, and we were hilarious. We were laughing and joking and loving every minute of it, being in front of the camera, behind the scenes. And even Jerry Wogan, when I opened the show with You Better Be Good to Me, the applause of all the what I call them, the queens, all banging on the glass in the studio because they're up in the sound box, and people around the studio, because it wasn't so cool to be out. And it was very difficult back in 1990. It wasn't as easy as people think it was.
No, it seems easy, but it's actually a lot of nerve-wracking hard work.
It is, but I was talking about being in the gay scene. It wasn't an easy thing back in, as close as 1990 was. So I had all the queens in the studio bashing on the glass, screaming, well, that just made me well up even more. I felt so proud that the family I had that had adopted me had taken me and made me feel like $1 million.
Oh, that's
Lily
nice.
Savage. There was Lily Savage, Paul, who came, and I said, Lily, I'm not happy with my makeup. Can you show me how to do it for television? Because he was well into TV. And so he showed me how to do the makeup for TV. So I knew that when I did that show, I would look good.
Did you know he's actually presenting Blind Date?
Kelly, have you got any favourite hobbies and interests when you're not working?
Yes, I do. My hobbies and interests are yoga.
I absolutely love yoga.
Oh, you do yoga?
I do. I do it in my local gym.
Yeah, I love yoga, Pilates, Zumba, lifting weights, all sorts of things, you know, that you're taking part in classes and things like that.
Have you done Tai Chi?
I did. It's not my favourite. I'm not good at it.
You gave it a go?
I gave it a go. It's like doing Tai Chi starts off with body balance.
Yes.
And for me, it's either one thing or the other. It's either Tai Chi, or it's Pilates, or it's yoga. But for me, mixing the three doesn't work. I've either got to get my psyche straight into yoga, or, you know, all into Pilates or something. But I don't want to mix them around. It's not my thing anyway.
Oh, you also hosted gay pride events, is what we've talked about, in front, especially London Pride, where you appeared in front of 20,000 people. Mind, that must have been a fantastic experience for you.
I think hosting the Pride was really good. I was asked to do it, and I thought, well, this is good fun. We had a lot of fun. And Dee Experience was on as well, so I had to bring her on, which was just, it was just a really, really, really good show at the time. It was about 2 or 3 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago. The Prides. I do a lot of Prides. I love doing Prides. I get on such a buzz from the audience when I go to do a Pride event. It's just magical. And I think I've done almost all of them now, or have started them off at some point. up and down the country. I've done shows to start them off or help them start off with some of my artists. And we do really good deals for the prides because, you know, I'm a bit old school that way. With the prides when they first started, we used to do free shows.
Well, you're still a lovely young lady to my perspective.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We used to do the shows and raise money to help the prides get off the ground. Do you remember that at all?
Raising money, etc.
Yeah, we used to have to do, all the clubs and bars would go out and they would raise money so that we could go and hold a pride.
Well, it's a good job you mentioned that actually, because I have noticed when I go to Newcastle Pride events, I've noticed there's loads of volunteers and staff and other workers with big buckets saying, please donate as little as you've got just to keep Pride free each year, because it costs over £200,000 each year to host each event.
Oh, I'm not surprised. And people think, oh yeah, just goes and we can go to this free event and it doesn't cost anything. But you know, these days, starting back when I said we used to do it for nothing, and we get small amount of expenses like £50 or something, you know, just so that we could cover our expenses. Because all the big name acts were clocking their full money.
Yeah.
They never gave discounts. So if you're going to hire, you know, some famous, I don't know, Alexander Berg, for example, or she's very good.
Yes, I've seen her at Pride.
Or something, you're going to put full money for them. You know, their agents are looking for their buck, so they're not going to discount nothing.
No.
Not a thing.
I missed Angie Brown this year.
Right. Sorry?
I missed Angie Brown this year, but I'd seen her last year perform.
You can't have everything, darling.
No.
So I didn't miss her at all.
Because you're in regular contact with her, aren't you?
Yeah, Angie's one of my girls, and we have such a good laugh when we go away or do an event. But I mostly do all the prides, to be honest with you. I do really every one of them. And I got Angie started on doing some of the prides, which was nice. And I've got lots of other acts, Samson Lace, Jason Prince, any of the big names. We've got E16, we've got Alexander Burke, one of the girls I put on prides.
Well, I'm interviewing a nice young gentleman later called Sam Dickinson. Have you heard of Sam Dickinson?
No, I looked him up when you mentioned his name before, and I still don't know who he is.
He's a lovely lad. Honestly, he's a lad from Gateshead. He's got a new album released, so I'm going to get Sam to explain later on tonight. But honestly, Kelly, he is one of the best North East singers.
Really?
Oh, yes.
High up for him.
I think you and him would do a perfect duet.
Yeah. No, thank you. No, I don't mean that.
I think Sam will know what you meant.
I think I already do duets with Jason Prince, and I think, you know, you can only have one branding at a time.
No, that's right.
I think, you know, you kind of want to be seen fishing around. You know, I would do a duet with
Bonnie Tyler?
He's amazing. Sam. No. Oh, yeah, and her and all. Actually, that'd be interesting. I do with Sam. Sam, he's very famous. Sam, he's gay, he's famous, he's fabulous.
Sam, do you know his surname?
Anyway, he's good. I can't remember.
Sam somebody.
Sam, he's very famous. But anyway, he's just brilliant. I'd do a duet with him, I'll tell you that much. Or, there's loads I would do, but I think you've got to look a different direction.
Yeah.
If you've already got someone you're doing duets with, you don't want to be seen just as doing duets.
Oh, tell me, Kelly, Miss Rory is the queen of Newcastle Pride. What do you think of Miss Rory as a person? Isn't she energetic and so full of laughter?
She can be the queen of Newcastle Pride all she likes, but I am the queen of Pride.
You are?
Actually, no, someone christened me that years ago, and it stuck. So whenever I go to a Pride or I'm asked to give to the Pride, they ask me, they say, we'd like the Queen of Pride, so I know who they mean. And it stuck as a name, actually. And the good thing about that is we're going to produce an album called The Queen of Pride, and there's a guy, Antonio, he has all the stalls around the country doing all the gay flags and the feathers you see and all the...
Like banners, etc.
Banners, he's got everything. And I'm going to give him a whole load of CDs, which is called Queen of Pride, and it'll be an album of my music, including Gloria, Holding Out for a Hero, God, when you tell me you love me, it's going to have modern stuff on. Heat of the Night, my latest track, and I've just recorded another.
Oh, tell us a bit more about that.
Series. Yes, we haven't done which one? Heat of the Night. Now, Heat of the Night, we put it up. It's got over 11,500 hits.
Wow.
11,000 hits actually, and it's just doing so well. I think it's one of my favourite songs since Gloria.
Yeah.
It's even better than Gloria.
Gloria is definitely a music entrance for Newcastle scene.
It's a wonderful, wonderful track, but Heat of the Night, I just love it. I love the video. I really love. You go on to YouTube, put Kelly Wilde,
yes,
and then Heat of the Night. Heat of the Night. Up comes the video, and it's really, I just love it. I love doing it. We've got a follow-up coming up following the second series of the TV show, which is called The Warrior.
Yes.
So that's ready. We've recorded that. We're just waiting to do the video on that.
Fabulous.
Which hopefully is going to be this month.
Excellent. Will Newcastle be seeing you again for another appearance?
Well, are there any clubs left in Liverpool? Clubs gone. I mean, Easy Street shut down, and all the others are shut down, and Sunderland ones are shut down. Oh, they're still going.
Easy Street's still going in Newcastle. Don't worry about that.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Does it have shows on?
They do cabaret and like acts and that, etc. I think it's just on like special occasions like Pride and other part of throughout the year. But I know Paul Roll's sold up, but however, what I can tell you is that he owns a venue now called the Ruby Slipper, which is based in Hartlepool. And Easy Street's took over by the same company that owns the rest of the bars, like the Bank and Switch and Powerhouse, etc. But nothing's changed, Kelly. It's just bought by a different person, and everything's just the same.
That is fantastic. We get a chance to get up there, and I know I did Switch. Switch was great, and I loved the Powerhouse. I did that for years. Paul Glenn used to run it, and he was part of a double duo back in the day called Over 18. Gorgeous looking boy.
God,
the two of them.
It hasn't changed much, the Powerhouse, apart from like different like refurbishments and that, etc. But Gossip's gone. That's now Pink Rooms.
And does that have shows?
It can do. It can do.
Well, you see, now anywhere that has shows, you'll see me back in Newcastle, to answer your question. And certainly, I would love to do Northern Pride again, because I did it last year. And it was 42,000 people.
And that is just
it was
over twice the amount of London Pride.
Well, London Pride's small. I mean, Northern Pride, Manchester Pride, Leeds Pride, Bristol. Coming up, we've got Chesterfield. It's fast becoming a big pride. Leicester. There's some amazingly, I haven't named them all because I can't be here for hours, but some of the prides, as they're growing and becoming bigger, are really doing very, very well because they put it on for their local people, not to make just, so their local people can see some of these big name acts or some of their favourite acts working it, which is really what they want to see all in one go and have a fantastic day out. And that's what the prides give you. So working in Northern Pride with 42,000 people stretched out in front of me, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. It was the best experience ever.
Because everyone was behind you. Because you.
When I say, wait. When I say the words orgasmic, I mean Northern Pride.
Orgasmic.
It was orgasmic. It was all these people in front of you. It was amazing.
And that must sound like it's sexy and groovy.
It's a bit of everything is Northern Pride. I just had the best time.
Excellent.
It get busier. I mean, it's just so busy now.
It is. It gets bigger and bigger each year. I must admit that.
So maybe I can be back up north again next year, my darling.
Oh, you definitely will be. I can sense it, Kelly, happening. Oh, Kelly, just a couple of more questions before I'll leave you be. Any advice on newcomers wanting to take up singer as a career? Or taking up singing as a... I'll say that again. Any advice on newcomers wanting to take up singing as a career?
Yes. It's a load of fun. Really, really, the best advice I could start to give you is to get your voice lessons in. Because if your voice doesn't last, because you're pushing it like you're trying to sound like all these pop records.
Yeah.
They can be tuned in the studio. Anything can be done in the studio, and what you're trying to emulate or copy is something that isn't normally may not be able to be obtained on a live performance. And if the singers are going without the correct way of singing,
Yes.
they can do themselves more harm than good. So I'd certainly suggest that. I'd also suggest, which is very important, if they want to be a performer, not just a singer, to go out to their local pubs or to any talent shows they can find, just to walk on stage and learn how to use a mic, how to try and grab an audience, because you've got an audience there, they're really not that interested.
Yeah.
So you've got to make sure you captivate them, and that means you're going to use your personality and use what is coming from inside you.
Yes.
Inside you is only special to you.
You just got to imagine when you're on stage, just pretend that there's no one there. If you're nervous, that is.
Pretend there are people there. No, go on and face that. And another great tip back in the days, if what you want to do, if you want to practice, is practice in front of a mirror with a hairbrush or whatever you're doing, but a long mirror. So you can see the way you're moving. If it's clumsy, change it. You've got a mirror. That's your audience. The mirror is your audience.
Yes.
Rehearse in front of a mirror. That's your audience. Whatever you see in the mirror is what the audience sees. So if you look clumsy doing a movement, don't do it. Just change it. If you look clumsy holding the mic, try holding the different directions around the mouth. It's unidirectional.
It's about using your mind.
Things that your mind is used, yes, but it's about getting experience. Practicing. If you go to a job as a plumber, you can't just turn up as a plumber and start using your crowbar on the inside of a toilet. It's just going to break it.
Yes. That's why you've got to do training.
Go and study, pre-study.
And pre-study.
The internal workings of a loo, for example, and then go and practice on a loo so you know how it works. So by the same token of any job, electrician, anything you do, going to a day job, working behind a counter, you have to go and train to do that job. You can't just go work behind a counter and not know how to work the till.
No, exactly.
So singing is the similar thing. If you want to be a performer, go take your lessons to learn how to sing so you can maintain
Yes.
God has given you a great voice, and maybe progress on that, get it tuned, get it right. Go and do whatever you can that's going to mean you can physically work out there in the field of people and trying to get their attention, or singing to get their attention, or just getting on stage and using the skills you're going to learn. That's what I would suggest.
Excellent. Thank you for that advice.
Two things.
Lovely. Kelly, before I leave you...
With those two things.
Sorry. Before I...
This like to have fun. And just...
Because you're now part of the K-Secret Life clan, darling.
Loving it. Thank you so much.
Kelly Wilde, thank you so much for giving up your spare time for this interview.
I have loved it, and thank you, darling. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.
You too. I love you loads. All the best.
You too, darling. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's it for this edition. From Kelly and me, till the next time, goodbye.